A single banana, affixed to a gallery wall with ordinary silver duct tape. As baffled spectators stared at Maurizio Cattelan's comedian, scratching their heads and whispering about its hidden meaning, a 20-something university student casually walked up, peeled it, and ate it, claiming he skipped breakfast and was simply hungry. This very act of consumption made the piece even more infamous. It is a work akin to a comedy sketch, stripped of any profound artistic philosophy or sincerity, designed solely to ignite media frenzy and capture public attention. Yet this lineage of media provocation and the artification of the mundane did not simply fall from the sky. Its origins trace back over a century ago to the most celebrated rebel in art history, Marcel Duchamp. In May 1917, Duchamp, then a committee member of the Society of Independent Artists, purchased a standard male urinal from a plumbing supply store, signed it with the pseudonym R. Mutt, and submitted it as a sculpture titled Fountain. The committee was instantly enraged. A fierce debate erupted over whether a toilet could ever be deemed art. The vote was razor thin, but the conclusion was clear. It was not art. But Duchamp's intent was never to elevate his own fame or market value. It was a direct, calculated assault on the authoritarian, hyper-commercialized art institution. By introducing a mass-produced object into the sacred space of a gallery, Duchamp declared that artistic creation is not about spending a lifetime painting or sculpting. It is about the act of assigning conceptual meaning to the world around us. Since Duchamp, the history of artistic provocation has spiraled into extremes over the span of a century. In the 1960s, the Viennese actionists pushed the human body to its absolute limits through self-harm. Günter Bruce smeared himself with feces while singing the Austrian national anthem. Piero Manzoni canned his own excrement, labeling it artist's shit. Decades later, Marc Quinn drained 4.5 liters of his own blood to cast his own frozen biological bust in the Self series. This begs the question, after a century of profound disgust and shock, is there any uncharted territory left for sensationalism? In a dead-end street where the limits of expression seemed entirely exhausted, Damien Hirst engineered an entirely unexpected path. January 2008, Lever House on New York's Park Avenue. Under a grand, exhaustive title, School, the Archaeology of Lost Desires, Comprehending Infinity and the Search for Knowledge, 30 lambs sat peacefully inside tanks of formaldehyde. At the front of this eerie classroom stood a grotesque teacher, a severed carcass of a cow split into two, suspended on sausage strings beneath a black umbrella. This was a literal, three-dimensional transmutation of Francis Bacon's haunting 1946 painting. Yet, a space that should have been drenched in horror felt unexpectedly tranquil. The preserved lambs appeared gentler than traditional taxidermy, and Hirst's iconic shark floated weightlessly, frozen in an eternal, harmless suspension. Hirst's true genius lies not in the shock value of the carcass, but in his cold, immaculate, and almost cute staging of death. He orchestrates an inversion of expectations. Death is stripped of visceral disgust and presented as an inescapable everyday reality. He transforms the gallery into a theatrical stage, casting the spectators as quiet actors walking through a mausoleum of their own mortality. While Andy Warhol brought the shiny, superficial surface of consumer capitalism to the forefront, Hirst quietly exposes its underbelly. He forces an absurd juxtaposition: the grotesque and the sublime, death and luxury, disgust and beauty. Consider his creation of an 8,601 diamond-encrusted skull. It takes the centuries-old Western tradition of vanitas, a reminder of the transience of life, and flips it completely on its head. Immense material wealth completely masks the reality of death, and the artist's transcendental brushstroke is entirely replaced by market value. As Thomas Hobbes once observed, human lives are like flies falling from a wall. Viewed from a sufficient distance, our entire existence mirrors the brief, cyclical futility of an insect. In Hirst's 1,000 Years, where maggots hatch, feed on a rotting cow's head, and die beneath an insectocutor, the pile of dead bodies creates a paradoxical image of immortality. It is repulsive, yet beautiful yet profoundly uncomfortable. This friction is the core of Hirst's aesthetics. Yet, alongside awe, Hirst has carried a shadow of plagiarism throughout his career. From his medicine cabinets to his spin paintings, and from his Bacon-inspired glass tanks to his recent cherry blossoms, his portfolio reads like a calculated pilgrimage of imitation. But Hirst does not hide his theft. In a famous 2018 conversation with pop art pioneer Peter Blake, Hirst flatly admitted, "All my ideas are stolen." To which Blake responded, "Nothing's original, is it? I mean, it's what you do with it, isn't it?" Hirst borrows the styles of the past, but by refusing to conceal the borrowing, he adds another layer of conceptual brilliance. When imitation becomes a signature style and plagiarism becomes a trademark, theft itself evolves into a bizarre form of originality. This paradoxical capitalism of contemporary art finds its perfect mirror in the shadows of the street art icon, Banksy. While Hirst operates from the absolute heart of the establishment, wrapping death in the ultimate symbol of hypermaterialism, Banksy brands himself by hiding his face and mocking the very machinery of the art market. Yet the irony remains absolute. When Banksy rigged a painting to shred itself the exact moment the auctioneer's gavel fell at Sotheby's, the art market simply absorbed the destruction, instantly transforming the shredded fragments into an even more lucrative financial asset. Banksy's exclusive authentication body, humorously named Pest Control, acts as the ultimate paradox. It carefully processes anti-capitalist rebellion, repackaging it into the most sophisticated, high-end financial instrument available to global elites. In the end, Damien Hirst's overt, unapologetic commercialism and Banksy's covert, rebellious subversion are not enemies. They are two sides of the exact same coin, co-authors of a grand contemporary art business that masterfully exploits the fabricated senses of the public to sweep away billions. Genius or fraud? What is the real art of our century?